Excuse me, Makoto. Please.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to Danganronpa V3 Killing Harmony. Last time, we continued into the class trial, and we, figured some stuff, put some stuff around, and now, we got Kokichi called out as he could unlock the door when we quoted on Kyo not killing Angie because only student council members could get that. So yeah, now we're here, where Kokichi says he killed Angie, I guess.
Wait, what? What did you just say?
I picked the lock to her lab, snuck into the room, and then wham! Killed Angie. The culprit was me, all along.
What?
What are you saying? Is this some kind of joke?
Nah, no joke. I thought that if I confessed, I could atone for my sins. And it helped. I feel so much better. Whew!
Wait, so Kokichi really is culprit?
No, he's lying. I think. Maybe?
He's lying. I'm certain of it.
No, definitely not a lie. I killed Angie. Shouldn't you guys believe the culprit when they confess?
Then let me ask you, culprit. How did you lock the room?
Huh? Well, it's the same as opening it. You pick the door closed from the outside.
No, that doesn't make sense.
Huh? What doesn't make sense? Can't you lock a door by picking it?
Maybe, but that's not how the culprit locked the room. They used a different method.
What different method? Yeah, Mumbles. Use your big boy voice and explain yourself.
There were two doors to the classroom, and the one locked last was...
The back door.
That's it! The back door. That's how they made this a locked room mystery.
The back door had a sliding lock, yes? How was it locked from the outside?
The culprit used a certain tool.
The tool that the culprit used to unlock the sliding lock door was. It's time! Oh my god! I'm gonna solve mystery so fucking good. Fuck. I don't know doing that. Manos Coombs. Okay, it can't be the sickle. Can't be the sheep because if the sheep was there.
I see it!
I see it! I did it!
The gold leaf katana that was stabbed into Kaede's effigy. The culprit used that to hit the knob of the sliding lock to lock the door.
So the gold leaf was on the sliding lock
Because when the katana hit the lock, some of the gold leaf rubbed off on it. The gold leaf on that katana did heal rather easily.
That evidence rings a bell. Specifically, a school bell. Huh? Are you talking about a different school? What school was it? Now, that doesn't matter anymore. Let's not dwell on the past.
Ooh, the gold leaf landed on the sliding lock when the katana touched it. So that means the culprit used the katana to move the sliding lock.
Yeah.
Wait, how did they move it with a katana? And from outside Angie's lab?
Asuka has a rambling on this moment.
The clue that might give us the answer is the layout of the area itself. It was an odd setup after all. The katana stabbed into the effigy. The effigies hung upside down.
Angie didn't do that as part of the ritual?
No. Nowhere in the Necronomicon did it say you had to hang the effigies.
If it was not part of the ritual, then it must have been for a different purpose, right?
Different purpose. What could that have been? The culprit somehow used the setup to lock the room. In that case, I need to know the reason behind every step of that setup. If I do that, the way the culprit should lock the room should be clear. Psych taxi. This is the car I pick your mother up in. Yes. Check your mother's phone text next time, bitches. What? Who? Who turned? What turned the handle of the sliding lock? What is your mother? Your mother hasn't given me her credit card number yet. What turned the handle of the sliding lock? Da 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 da. Well, let's see the. Well, we can't say it's the effigy's hand. We can at least. I think the best strategy in Psych Taxi is eliminating the obvious wrong choices. In case if you need to remember. Yeah, you're on. Yeah, on. Desmond won the next one. (210 kilometers per hour). Just 2 miles per hour. I don't know. What was done to make the katana turn the lock? Thinking time. It was stabbed into the end. It was stabbed into the thing. Yeah. I'm gonna hit all these boxes so good. Yeah. I'm gonna solve this mystery so good. Yeah. I solved this mystery too good. Ugh. Ooh. Fast to the center. Fast to the. How was the effigy manipulated to make the katana affect the lock? There was rope tied onto it. Thinking time. Yeah. Spinning it. It connects.
culprit stuck the katana into the effigy was so that it would hit the sliding lock as the effigy spun.
Effigy spun?
Spunk!
That's right. If you spun the effigy, the rope it was hanging from would twist. Then, if you let it go, the rope would unwind and the effigy would spin the other way. And of course, the katana would spin with it.
I see. So the culprit used the katana's counterspin to push the lock into place? The culprit simply needed to spin the effigy's rope and then swiftly leave. This would cause the spinning katana to hit the sliding lock. And thus was the back door of an empty classroom locked from the inside.
Yes, that's how Angie's lab was locked. By using the effigy with a katana.
A plan born from the heart of a sword traveling through the air to intercept us. Oh, but couldn't have moved the slide lock so easily?
Yeah.
The sliding lock was pretty loose. A little push could move it. As long as the spinning katana hit the lock, it would have slid into position.
Even if the culprit failed the first couple times, they could keep trying until it locked.
Which is why the culprit chose to strike at nighttime, as to avoid detection.
Yes, since the student council prohibited anyone from walking around at nighttime. Are you saying it's the student council's fault? I didn't say that.
In any case, the culprit probably used a murder weapon for this trick. It had to have been the right length to hit the sliding lock from the effigy.
The culprit couldn't find a blade long enough in my lab, so they settled for the katana.
The other effigies were only hung up, so we think it was some kind of ceremony. That way, we wouldn't notice the lock trick.
But Kokichi did say earlier that he could have picked the lock closed. I don't want to completely ignore that possibility. But I can't imagine the culprit would have done all this just for a distraction.
If that's the case, then Kokichi's confession earlier was actually...
Seriously? You fucking lied again?
Cough it up, Kokichi!
Oh, man. You guys got me. Okay, I'm not the culprit.
You're telling the truth this time, right?
I want to say I'm lying, but I'm not.
Why did you say you were the culprit?
I wanted to lure the culprit out. If I claimed to be the culprit, then the real culprit would agree as well. You get me? And if they pressured me to confess, then that would have looked mighty suspicious. Sheesh. Darn it. It didn't go my way because Shuichi butted into my plan.
You and your fucking lies! Sit in the corner and play with yourself!
Okay.
Okay, I'll start right now.
You're interesting, Kokichi.
Alright, so who's the asshole who set up this locked room mystery?
You!
You? I can't hold it up anymore.
What's the matter? You going soft on me now?
Who made the locked room mystery doesn't matter since anyone could have done it. Don't you even understand something as basic as that, you filthy cum dumpster?
Cum dumpster! Someone finally called me a cum dumpster!
Shuichi is about to. I'm telling you right now, if I was in Shuichi's place right now, I'd walk away.
What should we talk about now?
We must focus not on the locked room, but on who entered Angie's lab. Only one of the student council members or Kokichi could have gained entry. Therefore, the culprit must be among their number.
That leaves us with 4 suspects. Tsumugi, Gonta, Kibo, and Kokichi.
Don't forget Himiko. She's also a part of the student council. Doesn't matter if she was besties with Angie, she's still a suspect.
That contradicts what you said earlier, which I can prove using my recording function.
It's fine. That's just a waste of time. A suspect? Never kill Angie!
So, calling all suspects, what should we discuss next? I want to hear everyone's opinion. What would you say to get yourself off the suspect list?
Why are you trying to lead the debate? You're a suspect too.
Silence, outsider. Only the suspect rangers are allowed to speak.
What the fuck?
Suspect rangers?
I agree. Those under suspicion should explain themselves thoroughly.
We might catch them with their pants down.
Anyway, I want to ask the suspect rangers, what should we talk about? What should we say to get ourselves off the suspect list? Well, guys, I want to hear what you think.
That's sort of a difficult question, you know?
Gonta not smart enough to know answer to that.
Yes, it is difficult to formulate a logical response to that question.
Not articulate with words, huh? Don't you guys want to prove your innocence?
They don't trust you one bit, and I don't blame them. You're probably plotting.
Why did Tenko have to die? I want to know what happened to Angie too, but can we talk about Tenko's case now and not just Angie?
I got you exactly where I wanted, Himiko.
What do you mean?
The two victims could have been killed by two separate murderers, you know. So we need to find the first Blackened responsible for the first victim. We've got to figure out who killed Angie.
Because it won't matter who had killed Tenko.
Tenko's case is meaningless. Did you suggest that to waste our time?
It's not meaningless!
Himiko.
Tenko's death was meaningless? How dare you! Poor Tenko! How could you do this to her? Himiko.
Himiko, stop it with your crappy lies.
Lies?
Everything you said is total BS. You didn't give two shits about Tenko when she was alive. But now you're like, oh no, poor Tenko, after she's dead. Come on, really?
Kokichi, enough!
No. It's okay. It's no surprise he'd think that.
You could argue the reason is that because Himiko isn't very expressive.
I know I ignored Tenko before. That's why. I'm so upset now. I should have faced Tenko. Worked things out with her if she was still alive. But now, it's too late. I can't complain to her or thank her. It's too late.
Yeah, seriously. It's way too late to realize that now. Our only option is to face her death head on.
Face her death?
Himiko, I understand what you're going through. So I'm gonna help you out. Let's work together to find the truth.
I think everyone can understand after Kaede's death.
I'm not gonna let anyone say her death didn't matter.
Kaito.
Considering Kurumi being the actual vicious, intense bastard she was,
Alright.
who didn't actually really care much about Kaede's death.
Tenko's death meaningless. The name of the curse is Death Curse.
What the fuck?
Suppose being dead would silence someone pretty good.
Listen up. All you guys are gonna help out too. Abandoning someone who died and only thinking about your own survival. That's just as bad as a hit and run. I won't forgive something so messed up.
Tenko was our friend. Gonta want to know why she died too.
This is actually important to the case because we do need to know what happened to Tenko exactly.
I already told you that's so unnecessary. We're getting sidetracked here.
No, even if it was a different culprit, we need to know how Tenko died. If we don't find out who killed her, we won't be able to work together. Not now, not ever. Even if this trial isn't for her, in order for us to survive, We need to get to the bottom of Tenko's death.
Which I think is bullshit, because if there was two different because if there is two different culprits, then if there is two different culprits, and Tenko's death is basically meaningless, why let the killer go off possibly just killing more? Because, you know, if there is, then if there is two killers, the fucking only Angie's killer gets punished, not Tenko's. And also, if there is only actually one killer and it was a double kill by one person, then this could lead to some evidence to connect to Angie's death. Particularly, there's one case. There's one thing.
To survive this trial, but so we can keep going and live on.
Kaito.
Finally, you noticed. Jeez, you're so slow.
Huh? Did Kokichi want us to notice?
Don't listen to his crap. We haven't decided whether there were two different culprits yet.
Let us talk about Tenko's case then. Perhaps that will provide us a clue.
Yeah, maybe.
They're not wrong, but I don't mind going over Tenko's case. But that was an abrupt change of topic. Was that intentional?
So what do we talk about first?
For now, let's see if we can narrow down the list of suspects.
Tencrox probably got killed during the seance, so everyone there's suspicious.
The people who attended the seance. Koreakyo, Shuichi, Himiko, and Kokichi. This is the answer. Confirm. I was pressing the left mouse click.
It was me, Kyo, Himiko, and Kokichi.
So those four are the culprits!
Oh, Himiko's still culprit?
Well, that's probably just a coinkydink. The most suspicious out of the four is really Kyo. He suggested the whole seance idea.
True, I may have suggested it, but I explained the procedure beforehand, yes? If we all knew of it before the murder, then we are all equally suspicious.
Well, I suppose, but...
In addition, the seance wasn't entirely in my control either. I was not the one who selected the room we performed it in. It was Himiko.
However, there are 3 empty rooms. Which one shall we use? The middle room! The middle room's always the best for stuff like this! Very well, I shall begin the preparations at once.
Oh, right.
Also, we should not limit our suspects to only those who participated in the seance. The empty room had a point of entry from outside, you see.
A point of entry from outside you must be referring to. The hole in the middle.
There!
Or not the hole in the middle, but the hole in the corner.
You're talking about under the floor, right?
Huh? Under the floor?
Yes, there's a crawl space under the floor a person can move through. There was also a hole that connected it to the neighboring room.
If the culprit used the hole, they could have entered and exited the seance room.
So this is where kind of like what it's basically trying to in this case, if it could reveal that someone killed Tenko from under.
If we consider that possibility, then there is another suspect.
Another suspect? Who?
It's appearing before me. Oh, I can see it clearly. The true identity of Tenko's killer.
Okay, what you saying?
The culprit sneaked in during the seance by crawling under the floor.
But it was pitch black during the seance. How could they even see if they were under the floor?
Because it wasn't dark under the floor. You see, our villain had a light.
Light? You mean candle?
I mean Kibo's flashlight function. Huh? Now hold on a second.
Kibo could have used that function to get under the floor and sneak into the empty room during the seance.
I said hold on a second.
He used his robot functions to commit the murders.
Hold on a second.
It's true that with a little light, you could move around under the floor. But is that possible?
The culprit sneaked in during the seance by crawling under the floor.
But it was pitch black during the seance. How could they even see if they were under the floor?
Because it wasn't dark under the floor. You see, our villain...
Light? You mean candle?
I mean Kibo's flashlight function. Huh? Now hold on a second.
Kibo could have used that function to get under the floor and sneak into the empty room during the seance.
I said hold on a second.
He used his robot functions to commit the murders.
Hold on a second. The culprit sneaked in during the seance by crawling under the floor.
But it was pitch black during the seance. How could they even see if they were under the floor?
Because it wasn't dark under the floor. You see, humans have a light. That's wrong!
That's wrong!
I don't think the culprit could have used a light under the floor. There was a hole in the corner of the room. If a light were used, it would have leaked through and we would have seen it.
But when we did the seance, the room was definitely pitch black.
So a light was not shined under the floor, which means you cannot claim I am the culprit.
Jeez, here I thought this would be the case where the murder could only be done by a robot.
You have accused me of being the culprit more than once now, simply because I am a robot. My status as a robot does not mean I am capable of performing superhuman feats. My vision is somewhat poor, and I only possess average physical strength and intelligence.
All right, you made your point. God, now I feel sort of bad for you.
I neither want nor need your pity.
Enough with the flashlight! It's way too bright!
It would have been difficult to move around under the floor in that pitch black darkness. Maybe the floor and the hole have nothing to do with this case.
Then why was floorboard under Tenko lined up funny? Don't think that was so culprit could stab Tenko from underfloor.
Ooh, nice observation, Gonka.
Sorry for hitting my mic.
Getting used to the class trials.
Uh-huh. Thank you.
Don't say it like that. You're better off not being used to this kind of stuff.
Maybe they marked Tenko with glowing paint and looked for that. That'd let the culprit find her. Then they could stab her through the floorboards.
Yeah, like that totally isn't, you know, a reference to Danganronpa 2's first trial case.
That sounds really familiar too. But I'm just gonna ignore it.
Yeah, me too.
The corpse didn't have any trace of glowing paint, though.
Oh, yeah. So then why was that floorboard loose?
The loose floorboard was the one under Tenko, right? If the culprit used it while she was still alive, she'd totally notice.
Who fucking cares? Fussing over that won't get us closer to the culprit!
We shouldn't dismiss this line of inquiry, however. Instead of butting our heads against this, how about we concentrate on another issue?
What other issue?
Perhaps first, we should figure out how and when exactly Tenko was killed.
When? So not during seance?
Tenko was in the metal cage for the whole seance, wasn't she? How could someone have gotten to her there?
Maybe the culprit killed her before she went under the metal cage. That's not possible. She was alive at that point.
This is the point of no return, Tenko. After this point, you mustn't speak. The next time you open your mouth, it will be Angie speaking through you. Understood. I will not say a word until the seance is over.
Yes, she was unmistakably alive when the seance began.
That was right before we blew out the candles. But when the light came back...
Next time on Danganronpa V3, when the light comes back, what we're gonna do is check more into this case and whatnot, and see where the class trial goes from here. So yeah, thank you all so much for coming by this lovely day at Danganronpa V3 Killing Harmony. Peace, peeps.